What up, everybody? This is JP from Off the Ball Network, giving you a recap of Week 9 of the NFL regular season. Man, Week 10 is about to be coming up tomorrow. So before we get into Week 9 recap and everything, make sure you subscribe down below to Off the Ball Network for all your sports needs. Follow us on our social media platforms, and also check out offtheballnetwork.com. Articles, podcasts, videos, everything you need. All your sports needs is on offtheballnetwork.com. Shout out to the guys on Off the Ball Network doing their thing and everything, and catch them on Mondays for Off the Ball Network Mondays on Dash Radio on Nothing But Net channel. You get so many podcast shows from Off the Ball Network too as well. So shout out to the guys that are working really hard and everything just to give you the best content possible, because we're the best full letter network in the company. So hey, let's go ahead and get into the recap of Week 9. We have the Jets versus the Colts, where the Colts beat the Jets 45-30 behind Jonathan Taylor's 19 carries, 172 yards, and 2 touchdowns. I mean, pretty much like, Mike White, the guy that just did amazing last week, last week, and, got a chance to start and he got hurt, and then Mr. Johnson came in at quarterback for the Jets. He played pretty good. Got 27 out of 41, 317 yards, and 3 touchdowns. So, but, it was too much Colts and Jonathan Taylor. So, can't really do anything about it right there, especially when you're the Jets. Then we have the Browns versus the Bangles, where the Bengals kind of just look like they just got beat up, lopsided. Baker Mayfield just had a cheat code of 99. Baker Mayfield, after the whole drama with Odell Beckham, they released Odell Beckham Jr., got him off waivers. Baker actually got pressured and was like, okay, Baker, you got what you want. Let's see if you can show up and everything. And Baker did play pretty well, so, I can't lie. He played pretty well, though. It was just passes that were just some passes that were long and everything, but he still played well. So you can't really doubt Baker's performance and everything. Nick Chubb really stole the show, and they really gonna miss him for the Browns because, with the COVID list and everything, got on the COVID list. So prayers to Nick Chubb, and they don't have Kareem Hunt, coming this week. But Nick Chubb had 14 carries, 137 yards, 2 touchdowns. Peoples-Jones been really exceptional in that receiver role alongside Jarvis Landry for the Cleveland Browns. 2 receptions, 86 yards, 1 touchdown. Also Denzel Ward with a touchdown pick. They everything, just the offense and defense just clicked for the Browns in the 41-16 victory over the Bengals. Joe Burrow didn't play really well, got 282 yards, 2 touchdowns. It's just been a bad luck for the Bengals the past couple weeks. Then we have the Broncos versus the Cowboys, where pretty much the Broncos destroyed the Cowboys. It was at 1.27-0. It was really, really, really bad. The Cowboys finally scored 16 points in the fourth quarter. Dak Prescott, who I said is an elite quarterback, was playing like he was worth $2. It was just bad. But Teddy Bridgewater, 249 yards, 1 touchdown. Patrick, 85 yards, a touchdown. That defense really shut down the Cowboys offense. It was just that bad. The Cowboys didn't even show up. They just did not even show up. It was really, really bad. After they felt good about beating the Vikings with the backup quarterback, Dak Prescott came back in the fold and thought everything was going to be fine. It wasn't fine. It was not fine. It was just terrible. So now they're still going to win the NFC East, though, so they got to bounce back this week. So we have the Texans versus the Dolphins. Tua didn't play, but Jacoby Brissett, 244 yards, 1 touchdown. Gasson, 34 yards, a touchdown. Beat the Texans 17-9. Teams combined for 9 turnovers. Pretty goddamn awful and everything. But hey, the Dolphins got the victory, though. So, hey, shout out to the Miami Dolphins. Then we had a really good NFC South game. The Falcons been really hot lately. The Saints been really good lately. They beat the Bucks last week with Trevor Cinnamon coming into the fold after Jameis getting hurt. So now he's starting this week, and it was a really close game. but pretty much the Falcons were destroying them in the first half 10-0, and the Saints finally scored in the third quarter, only scoring 3 points. And it was like at the end of the third quarter, pretty much it was 17-3. But then the Saints kind of made a big comeback, in the fourth quarter. But it still wasn't enough though. But Matt Ryan had 343 yards and 2 touchdowns. Cordell Patterson with that winning kind of drive to Cordell Patterson. I love the Matt Ryan Cordell Patterson combo, which sets up the field goal to win the game here. So I mean, it was just beautiful. It was just beautiful though. Alvin Kamara had a all right game, not the best, 50 yards and a touchdown and everything. So, but Falcons is looking pretty good, pretty late this season and everything. So we had our hopes up with the Saints, but then when Jameis got hurt, it's like, I mean, do you trust Trevor Simeon to, help you get into the playoffs? So we'll just have to wait. And also, Michael Thomas is out for the season. So, the Odell Beckham Jr. sweepstakes is on here. So, I mean, like, could they get Odell Beckham Jr.? Could they have a chance? We'll just have to wait and see. I know he said he wanted to go to the Packers. I mean, he wants to go to a contending team. So what you got to offer, Saints? So then we got the Los Angeles Raiders. I just feel so bad for them because they had just been on a downward spiral. Like Henry Ruggs is cut from the team after getting into a car wreck with a DUI and killed a woman and a dog. And he's looking like to face 50 years in prison. That's just god awful. He was just stupid, crushed his childhood dream. Then you got another person that was making death threats. I forgot his name. I think he was a cornerback. He got cut. So the Raiders had just been looking pretty bad on a down spiral and everything. They signed Deshaun Jackson, which is to replace Ruggs, but they lost to the Giants 23-16. All the distractions there. Derek Carr 296 yards and a touchdown. Dan Waller 92 yards. So yeah, I mean, like the Giants played really well. They played really well, and yeah, you just saw the score 23-16. Then we have the Patriots versus the Panthers. Matt Jones is looking really good so far. Beating the Panthers 24-6, another Sam Darnold awful performance. Look, he's been seeing ghosts out there. Like, he just cannot play. He just cannot play. Like, we got all the confidence in the world at the beginning of the season that Sam Darnold is going to come out blasting, proving everybody that he could play, and he cannot play. He cannot play. 3 interceptions, only 172 yards. I mean, that is just god awful. Christian McCaffrey coming back and everything. So it's like, But hey, Bill Belichick and that defense, credit to them just shutting out Sam Darnold and the offense. So, but Odell, that's another place that Odell could play. I could see him playing is New England, with an NFL ready rookie quarterback and Matt Jones, and Bill Belichick knows how to use him really well. So, I mean, that could be a really good team to go to. No distractions or anything. So, hey, and the Patriots is looking pretty good. If they can keep this up, they could make the playoffs. We just have to wait and see. So we have the Bills versus the Jaguars. It's just been a weekend of good teams losing. And this is another one of those where the Bills just played god awful. I mean, the Bills played god awful. I mean, we had another Josh Allen for the Jaguars who really played really well against Josh Allen, the quarterback. Got a sack and, he had everything against the other Josh Allen from Buffalo. But yeah, Josh Allen from Buffalo, 264 yards, 2 interceptions. I mean, it was just really bad. It wasn't really much of it. It was just no touchdowns. It was just like the battle of the field goals, pretty much. And I guess Jacksonville got a better field goal. So freaking, Urban Meyer got himself a second win. So it was just awful, Buffalo. It was just awful. Then we have the Vikings versus the Ravens. This one is still emotional because I don't know how in the world they came back in the second half. Lamar Jackson was struggling in the first half. Kirk Cousins was on a roll. Dalvin Cook was on a roll. Justin Jefferson was on a roll. And then just like Lamar was struggling. And then somebody said in the chat that Lamar Jackson might get 3 touchdowns in the second half. And that's exactly what he did. And they got it. They went into overtime, and Justin Tucker hit the freaking game-winning field goal. Just crushed your heart. 34-31. Lamar Jackson, 266 yards, 27 out of 41, 3 touchdowns. Also carried the ball 20 times, getting 120 yards Kirk Cousins played really well. He played really well. And, the defense played really well, even though they were really short-staffed. They didn't have Daniel Hunter. Breland was out. They didn't have Harrison Smith. They were really short-staffed, but the defense was playing really well. And then the Ravens is just like that the other second half team. They always be coming back some way or somehow. Then we have the Chargers versus the Eagles. Well, the Chargers barely beat the Eagles 27-24. Justin Herbert, with 3 touchdowns going through 356 yards. Devontae Smith with 116 yards and a touchdown on 5 receptions. They really bounced back because they've been having an awful They've been having an awful 2 weeks. They just couldn't win anything. They were just struggling. Even against the Patriots, they were really just struggling. So I'm glad Justin Herbert just found a way to just bounce back from them awful couple weeks. So then we have the Packers versus the Chiefs, where Aaron Rodgers didn't play due to COVID and lied that he is vaccinated and everything. So Jordan Love gets his first start and everything, and he played all right. He played all right. It wasn't the best and everything, but he played all right. 190 yards and a touchdown. That's fair. It's fair. I'm not going to bash him like everyone else, trying to bash him and everything. So he played all right. Travis Kelce, 68 yards, a touchdown. Patrick Mahomes played all right. Not the best Patrick Mahomes I've seen. The Chiefs are really just struggling. They are just really struggling. I just don't know what it is. They just lost their antidote. They're just they have that high on them Super Bowls and everything, and they just haven't been playing really well. They just on that stump. Like I said, Andy Reid, when he gets on that stump, it's hard to come back out and everything. But they got 2 straight wins so far. But it's just if Aaron Rodgers was playing with the Packers, it would be a different story. It would be a different story if Aaron Rodgers would have played and everything. But that's another team that Odell Beckham Jr. could possibly go to, would be Kansas City and all that, or the Packers. He can go to either one of those 2 teams, and they could be really contenders. The Packers, they got too much receivers, but I think he would be a really good difference maker. Alongside. The problem is Devontae Adams is a really good receiver. So, it's going to probably be hard for him to, connect with Devontae Adams. But you also have a really good quarterback in Aaron Rodgers. So, they could possibly make it work. And you also got a good quarterback in Patrick Mahomes with the Chiefs. You got Tyreek Hill that's fast and could go into the deep route and everything. And Travis Kelce. So, I was like, you got some really good options of Odell, you got really good options. So on either one of those teams. Then we have the Cardinals versus the 49ers, but it wasn't really a close game. The Cardinals just pretty much destroyed the 49ers 31-17. A lot of stars wasn't playing like J.J. Watt, DeAndre Hopkins, Kyler Murray. But the Cardinals really played really well. They played really well. Connor with 96 yards and 2 touchdowns. Jimmy Garoppolo had a pretty all right game. 326 yards, 2 touchdowns. George Kittle, 6 receptions, 101 yards and a touchdown. It just seems like the 49ers just cannot win at home. They are 0-4 at home. And the Cardinals are undefeated away. So there you go. Then you have the Titans versus the Rams. Well, the Rams, and Von Miller didn't really did he play? I'm about to check for y'all because, it's kind of hard to just see, on the field and everything. So, let's see. No, I was right. Okay, good. I was right. So, yeah. They got the big news that Von Miller was coming to the Rams and will help with the defense alongside Aaron Donald and Jalen Ramsey too as well, and also Floyd. Floyd been playing really well. You have to watch Floyd. But the Titans really surprised me after Derrick Henry went down and everything. They really surprised me because I said everything got to go on Ryan Tannehill to be able to get them into the playoffs barely and everything. But, he got 143 yards, going 19-27 and a touchdown. But Matthew Stafford was really struggling. Only had 294 yards, 2 interceptions. It was really bad for him. He had a really bad day. Adrian Peterson, congratulations. Only 21 yards, but he got a touchdown on 10 carries. So, congratulations too as well. Julio Jones coming back into the fold too as well. So yeah, Tennessee played all right, not the best, but like they got away with it. They got away with it. The Rams just played god awful. I mean, just god awful offensively. So, um, but yeah, so and then we're gonna go ahead and get into the Monday night football game between the Steelers and the Bills. I was very impressed with Justin Fields. He played really well yesterday and did everything he could to will his team to victory and everything. Got 291 yards, going 17 out of 29 and a touchdown. But it was the Steelers that beat the Bills 29-27. Oh man, I just feel bad for Justin Fields. I feel so bad. He is very talented though. But Ben Roethlisberger, 21 out of 30, 205 yards, 2 touchdowns. Najee Harris, only 62 yards to the touchdown. Pat Freeman, 43 yards and 2 touchdowns too as well. So yeah, the Steelers just came and the defense, played all right. Chicago scored 21 points in the fourth quarter. They only had like 6 points, and then 21 points in the fourth quarter. They really exploded. So, and then, Pittsburgh kind of stayed consistent in terms of scoring, each quarter. So, but that was your NFL recap. Comment down below your biggest loser, your biggest winner, your favorite game, the most shocking game, what you think about your team, anything down below regarding NFL, please just comment down below. Subscribe to Off the Ball Network for all your sports needs. Also, check out offtheballnetwork.com. Everything's there. Also, follow us on our social media platforms. I'm JP, and I'm about to go find me an Odell form, just decide which team he's going to be on, and go buy the jersey. Peace.